Hi everyone, I'm Jay Fadden. Thank you so much for joining us today on This Is the Day. Father Reed is not with us. He will be back next week. And Kevin, we have a full program today.
We have a jam-packed show, Jay. We have John Piantedosi, who is here talking about this book, The Gospel for Children, and we're going to be talking to him a little bit later. We have a great piece also from the Knights of Columbus. They have the Love and Life Center for the English-speaking pilgrims at World Youth Day, so we're going to be taking a look at that later on.
And much more. You have the news. So all that and much more right now on This Is the Day. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Jay Fadden. Thank you so much for joining us today on This Is the Day. As I said, our great friend Father Reed could not be with us today because he's doing World Youth Day stuff. But Kevin Nelson is here, and always a pleasure to have you seated next to me, Mr. Nelson.
Always a pleasure, Jay. A little,
You're getting ready there, huh?
You know, things happened a little quick this morning. And
it's been a busy morning.
It has.
It's been a busy week. World Youth Day going on and so much more. And I have to tell you, I've been watching World Youth Day, and a great deal of it, even when I get home, I watch it rebroadcast at night. It is spectacular. Yeah. It's been amazing.
It's a, you know, it's a memories of a lifetime for a lot of the people that are there. And you know, we've been talking a little bit about the vocations that come out of World Youth Day as well. I have some stories on that, and it's pretty impressive, you know, for young people to come from all over the world and to meet other young people and to be inspired by the faith, to hear catechesis, to actually see the Pope. It's just incredible. I'm
just trying to remember when I was at World Youth Day, my first World Youth Day.
You're about this high, right?
No, I wasn't. That's about how high I am now. I was.
You're shrinking.
I was, I think, 28 years old. 27 or 28 years old.
Steve.
And it was just a couple years ago. Year or two ago. Hey, before I forget, we're going to talk about World Youth Day, obviously, today. And we have a great piece from our great friends, the Knights, who sent that to us, and Peter Sonsky. Thanks, Peter. But before I do, I have to say thank you to somebody.
Great.
Alana. She's an intern here at CatholicTV. Today's her last day.
Oh, wow,
she heads back to Boston College, and she has done a great job. So, Alana, thank you so much for all you've done, and we really appreciate your work here at CatholicTV and wish you the best when you head back to Boston College, which is in Massachusetts, which is a great school. So
go Eagles.
Go Eagles. Hey, go a lot of teams, but we want to say go Pope Benedict, because the thing that I've always enjoyed about World Youth Day in particular is to see how the young people, I hate saying young people, by the way, makes me sound older, but how they gravitate to the Holy Father and to his message.
Yeah,
which
and all started by Pope John Paul II. Blessed John Paul II, and we see his remnants in that event.
Oh, yeah, just great memories, great memories. I have to tell you, one of the things I love are the letters. And you're mentioned in one of these letters. I'm not going to tell you which one.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I look forward to reading this now.
It's a little tease for you. So you have the first one.
The first one. I am enjoying Mass on Catholic TV, and I've especially enjoyed the Rosary at the Ocean with Father Frank McFarland. I remember that one. I've ordered them on DVD. This year, I probably can't get to the Ocean, although I'll still enjoy the Ocean and Rosary together. And that's a great letter, living through vicariously through Father Frank at the Ocean.
I have to tell you something about that. For people who did not know Father Frank well, and I think we all felt like we knew him, he loved the ocean. That's why we always ended up at the ocean doing rosaries, because he just loved the ocean. He loved to be there, loved to walk the beach, loved all of that. This is from Rose, and it's a nice letter. I really enjoy the Mass and Rosary every night. I really enjoy the Rosary with Father McFarland. See, that was a great thing. He helped me see there is light at the end of the tunnel. Father Reed, you all do a great job. And the reason they saw Father Frank was it was his 10-year anniversary, July 17th, since he left us. And so we decided to put his rosaries on for that month. And obviously, people noticed.
Yeah. Thank you so much for daily Mass. I love to see many priests whom I have known from being in parishes during my lifetime keep up the good work. And that's Catherine. Thank you, Catherine. And it's great to see the many different priests every day here for the DLA Mass. Jay, you're smiling.
This is the one.
Okay, great.
Your name's in here.
Really excited about this.
So you ready for this?
Yeah. It's
actually a lot of
might be
names
too
right
much
here.
of a big build-up. So
it absolutely is. It's going to be a letdown. I'm going to tell you just because there's more than just your name, but I wanted to make you feel good. Thank you for sending me the monthly magazine. And Sean does that magazine, does a great job. I enjoy reading it. I also watch Catholic TV often. I feel like I know Father Jay and Kevin personally. God bless you and your staff. And that is exactly what we are trying to do here at Catholic TV is we consider you the parish of the airwaves, and we're trying to make a connection. So glad to get a letter like that. And we like to get letters. We like to get emails too. So if you'd like to write us or email us, it's a real easy thing to do. Write us or email us at Catholic TV, 34 Chestnut Street, Box 9196, Watertown, Massachusetts, 02471, or you can email us at thisistheday@catholictv.com, and we always enjoy getting those correspondence. You especially enjoy when your name appears.
Yeah, it's nice to hear from
Makes you
people.
feel good,
sure.
doesn't it?
Yeah, sure. Just like anybody, you know.
Now, will you correspond back? If you get a letter, will you write back?
Yeah, I will. It might take me a little bit.
Well, that's a problem, and I always feel bad about that. I try to do it as quickly as possible, but sometimes it takes a little longer than I would like. Hey, you know what? Peter Sonsky and the Knights of Columbus have always been good friends of Catholic TV, and they're doing some great work over at World Youth Day. And for all our friends at Salt and Light, you're about to see one of your friends, Father Rosica, who is in this piece, who's over there also, and the great team from Salt and Light. And what this demonstrates are that knights, a lot of times people think of knights and they say, well, they're older gentlemen. No, they're not. There are college knights too, young men who have joined the knights. So let's take a look at some of the things going on at World Youth Day.
There's a buzz in the streets right now, and it's mounting. You can feel it. It's palpable. And certainly this place, the Love and Life Center, is going to play a very key role in the World Youth Day. The beautiful thing about the Love and Life Oasis in the middle of this great city is it's a joint effort, and most of this is being led by young adults who are the alumni or the alumna of World Youth Days.
I think it's a lot of excitement. Certainly a lot of us are tired, we're jet lagged, we're hungry. But I think we're really excited for what we have to offer pilgrims.
We have a tremendous program on the main stage, both of speakers and of singers. We have JP2 Adoration Chapel, where the young can truly encounter the Lord. We have a Rosary Chapel, where they can encounter their mother. We're hoping that the English-speaking pilgrims from all over the world will come, as there is room for them here in this home of the Love and Life site.
We have somewhere around 40 hours of programming over the course of 4.5 days. We have capacity for 11,000 pilgrims. We expect to see well over 50,000. But there's so much happening behind the scenes, and we have an army of volunteers from all across the English-speaking world here to help us, and we certainly need every one of them.
They're dedicated. They believe in the mission, our Catholic faith, so that's definitely what's made it worth it so far.
Among this army of volunteers are more than 20 college Knights of Columbus who will spend a week of their summer vacation serving World Youth Day pilgrims.
What drew me to the Knights to begin with, it's the element of service that it has in a faith context. And what better way to do service than in the context of this worldwide event, this international event, bringing people from all over the world. You get a view of the universal church, and you get to serve those people who are part of the church. I couldn't ask for a better opportunity.
And as always, a great job by the Knights, and they're doing such great work and volunteering their time. And it's one of the great things we can do. It's one of the gifts and treasures that we have is volunteering our time. And obviously these young people think it's important enough to do that, especially in the summer. Of course, it's probably not too bad being over in Spain. That probably is a little bit of fun too. Kevin, how you doing over there?
I'm doing good, Jay.
Yeah, I hear that the news is very much about World Youth Day.
It is, all World Youth Days.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grade you after the news when we come back to see what I think of your World Youth Day news. How's that sound?
Thank you, Jay.
So what's going on around the world in the Catholic faith?
All right. Hello, everyone. It is time to take a look at the news. We begin with news from Madrid. As he flew to Madrid for World Youth Day yesterday, Pope Benedict XVI played host to reporters, telling them the event is a waterfall of light that refreshes, nourishes, and strengthens young Catholics and brings hope to the world. The Pope commended Blessed John Paul II on instituting World Youth Day. Pope Benedict said although some of the seeds sown during World Youth Day will be lost, he was confident most of the seeds, especially the seeds of friendship with God and friendships with others, would continue to grow. He said the best way to ensure a successful youth gathering is to offer the young opportunities for spiritual preparation beforehand and opportunities to share and to grow afterward. And as the events kicked off this week in Madrid, the heat has become a factor. Temperatures are forcing pilgrims inside. Catholic News Service's World Youth Day correspondent Sarah Engel talked to a few attendants on how they are beating the heat.
All over the city here in Madrid, as the events are kicking off, pilgrims are waiting to get inside the museums and take part in the cultural events. But it is hot. Everyone's trying to stay cool any way they know how, with umbrellas, hats, water bottles, fans, and they're even leaving the lines that they've been waiting in for hours to find shade under a tree.
Busted out the umbrella and Nalgene's full of water, so I've been staying pretty cool. I'm waiting in this line for the last couple hours, so hopefully gonna get in soon.
We brought umbrellas and we also got these World Youth Day fans, so we're trying to be a little bit chill, but it's not really working.
Is your hat helping?
Yes. Sometimes you do it like that and sometimes you do it like that.
We skipped the line and got in through the exit. Inside, we were able to see the Faces of Christ exhibit, including Caravaggio's The Deposition. I'm off to explore, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be hard to get in anywhere this week in Madrid. For CNS, this is Sarah Engel.
And thanks to Sarah. We continue with news now from World Youth Day. After the Pope landed at the airport in Madrid and met the King and Queen, the royal family, Spanish bishops and dignitaries, he proceeded to the welcoming celebration by the young people. Flag-waving throngs of hundreds of thousands of young people from around the world welcomed the Pope. The Pope walked through the symbolic entrance to the city, the Puerto de Alcalá, and was joined by young people representing 6 continents. He was given gifts to represent various regions when he was greeted at the Plaza de Cibeles, where he also took part in a prayer service. Hours before the Pope arrived, though, young people staked out spots in the plaza and surrounding streets. The Pope greeted them in several languages and expressed his hopes that these days of prayer, friendship, and celebration would bring them closer to each other and to the Lord Jesus. After the gospel was sung, the Pope explained the event's theme, rooted and built up in Jesus Christ, firm in the faith, saying the words of Jesus must reach their hearts, take root, and bloom there all their lives. He told the youth to be steadfast in their faith and to know that in the face of weakness, which sometimes can overwhelm them, they can rely on the mercy of the Lord, who is always ready to help them again and who offers his pardon in the sacrament of penance. Staying now in Madrid, there are a number of bishops and cardinals who are in Madrid, and many are leading catechesis sessions, including Cardinal Sean O'Malley of Boston and New York Archbishop Timothy Dolan. Catholic News Service had a chance to catch up with Archbishop Dolan and get his thoughts on the impact World Youth Day has had on men and women discerning religious life.
When I was rector of the North American College in Rome, one of the things we required of our new students was to write a spiritual autobiography, letting us know the life of faith, how God has called them. And I was always amazed at how many of them would point to an experience at World Youth Day. Everybody that's here who takes this seriously and makes an act of faith is going to sense God's presence and a hint of where God wants them in life, because God has a plan, a vocation, and an invitation for all of us. We're going to get a good crop of priests and religious vocations, sisters and brothers. It's going to be good. These young people today, they've made an active free choice. I want to be a Catholic. I'm grateful that I was baptized. I'm grateful that my mom and dad raised me as Catholic. But I also want to make it my own. I want it to be interiorized. I want to freely choose to live it, be rooted in Christ, okay? He's the most important person in our lives. We love him. We worship Him. We want to spend our life on earth in serving Him, and we want to spend eternity with Him. So getting to know Him is a biggie.
And again, Catholic TV is continuing its coverage of the World Youth Day events in Madrid, Spain, with coverage beginning at noon. The highlights of today's events is the Way of the Cross with young people at Plaza de Cibeles. Well, that is all the information we have for you on this Friday, August 19th. We are going to take a quick break right now, and we are going to be back talking with John Piantedosi in just a moment.
Hello, I'm Father Reed, the president of the Catholic TV network, sitting here at the coverage desk for World Youth Day 2011. This is the place to be, Catholic TV, for full and even some exclusive coverage of all of the major events of World Youth Day from Madrid. Please do stay with us here on Catholic TV, America's Catholic television network, and when online, visit our website, catholictv.com/WYD.
No way. Hi. Hi. Shine, come on and let it shine. Light me up, make me feel alive. Hi. She actually said hi to you. Shine on me today.
And joining us now is John, who's going to tell us about this book, John, that you wrote, The Gospel for Children. I'm going to hold it right up so everyone can see it. Hey, thanks for joining us, first of all.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. It's really a pleasure. I thank you so much.
Well, you know, I look at the book, and we have quite a few authors come by, and I'm always curious about this. What made you decide to write this book?
Well, I'm not even remember for sure when I wrote the book. It's been maybe probably about 10 years ago. And I was just playing around with the gospel. There's also an Old Testament part, so I started writing the Old Testament piece of it, and then I got to the New Testament piece of it. And I guess the reason why is the gospel's always been something which has given me a lot of energy and hope. The gospel has been, for me, the most important stories I ever read. And I was blessed with the opportunity to work in the field of religious education for many years. And I noticed that many children aren't familiar with the story. And it's a story, by the grace of God, through my own personal experience and studies, has been life-giving and life-saving. So I played around with the rhyme and tried to figure out a nice way, a user-friendly way, a fun way to share the story. And I came up with The Gospel for Children. I sent it out to many publishers and received many, many rejections before New City Press gracefully accepted the book itself. So I think the major reason why is it's been, for me, something which I think children can use to share the story. They hear many stories, but this story is the most important story ever proclaimed.
Talk about the idea of the rhymes too, John, if you could, and how, you know, the catchy, and is that the idea to sort of capture and bring children into this story?
Well, I'm very musical, and I like music. I also write some music, and the thing about rhyme is, when I look back at my own childhood, the stories I remember most are those that had rhyme. Okay, and I thought rhyme would be a musical way, a light way to proclaim the story, so that the children will remember it. Because rhymes are memorable. People remember the rhyme. So basically it was and I was thinking of a unique way to share the story. There are many, many beautiful children's Bibles, children's Gospels out, but I thought I would take a unique way of proclaiming the story in a kind of fun, light way.
You know, you have the Gospel for Children. You talk about being an educator. Now, the thing that I think of first of all, though, is what a wonderful teaching moment this is for a family to sit down and read this together and then discuss and reflect upon that. Is that one of the goals you can see of this book, too?
Surely. It's written for adults as well because it's the story. And when adults share the story with pre-elementary children, as they share the story, they'll review the story and hopefully relearn the story, and it will take them back to that story, you see. So it's a good way for parents and children in the home or even in a school setting to share the beautiful story, you know.
Talk about the illustrations as well, John. How is that matching the illustrations to the rhymes, and what was the process that went through?
The process was an amazing process. The illustrations were done by the child, Ben Chaffee, of kids that I grew up with in high school, who I happened to run into. So therefore, it's sort of like in the family. The Chaffee family is a wonderful family I had the pleasure of sharing life with when I was a younger teenager into adolescence and early adulthood. Basically, New City Publications does mainly adult spirituality, and they didn't have an illustrator that was on hand. So, so once given the contract, it was pending illustrator. So I got permission from New City to see if I could, you know, find an illustrator as well. And fortunately, Ben, who's a student at Salem State University, who's studying education and hopefully will be a teacher, perhaps a teacher of special needs. And so therefore, there was a real blend there. So we worked together on this. But the amazing thing is, we did this all electronically. So Ben and I really didn't meet until after the book was totally finished. But everything was done electronically, and he was very, very much open along the way to suggestions. His illustrations were beautiful. A young man of that age to be able to illustrate so beautifully is amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. He did a wonderful job.
What would you count as success with this book? If you had to say, is it people reading and learning? What's success?
I think the success thing would be when a child has the book, is intrigued and awed by the pictures, and begins asking questions, especially a child who was a pre-K child. And the success isn't going to be the number of books sold, and it has nothing to do with data or statistics. The success will be when I can participate humbly in the mission of evangelization. This is just a seed planted that I, by the grace of God, was able to give. So I think the success will be participating in the life of the church, which is evangelization, which is World Youth Day, which is everything we've been about for the last 2,000 years. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to share this book.
Now that you've finished it, completed it, any plans for doing anything more?
Well, hopefully, pending sales, the Old Testament will be produced, pending sales. So we'll see what happens. The Old Testament is done. Ben is already aware of this, and hopefully he's going to begin soon the process of illustrating it. So hopefully we'll get to the Old Testament.
Well, John, thanks so much for joining us today. Where can people get a copy of this book if they'd like to?
Well, the information is, for New City Press, I believe, is being scrolled below. For those who do not have access to computers, and there are some, there is a number I could share.
Sure.
And the number is 1-800-462-5980. 1-800-462-5980. Also, if you go to Amazon.com and put in my last name, you'll be able to see the book in some of the pages and also the reviews. There's about 16 reviews that are on the book. And by the grace of God, they're very high.
Well, thanks so much for being with us. If someone didn't get that number, they can contact us here at Catholic TV, and we'll pass that along too.
And I believe it will be on your website as well.
Hey, pleasure having you with us.
Thanks,
I'm honored.
And we want you to stay with us because we have more of This Is the Day right after this. We'll be right back.
Three, two, roll A up track, stand by Mike, cue. I work as a sports television producer and director. Start your move, 3, dissolve 3 cue. And while that aspect of my life is certainly exciting, it's a very small piece of who I really am. People often ask me why I chose to become a knight, and I think about life's journey. We all need the encouragement along the way. The thing in the Knights is that when there's a problem, or when there's a struggle, or when there's a challenge, you have a support structure there of adult men who have a shared perspective. I'm a man who's concerned about my community, a man who's concerned about my church, about my country, and about the well-being of future generations. And I know I have my fellow knights that are walking that same path and sharing that same journey with me. And that's why I chose to become a knight.
So people know that award was won for WOW, for children's programming that we do here on Catholic TV.
All new season of WOW coming up in the fall.
Hey, I hear you were down at Mission Church in Massachusetts.
Yeah, we went to Mission Church working on another Catholic destination, and we get to talk to Father Philip Dabney there and meet a lot of great people, a lot of people coming up to us during the course of the time that we were there and saying how much they enjoy Catholic TV. So it was a great experience. They do a wonderful job. It's a beautiful, if you have an opportunity to go to that church over in the Roxbury section of Boston, it's just a beautiful church, and they have the shrine there to Our Lady of Perpetual Help.
My grandmother used to go there every Wednesday.
Yeah,
that was the big place to go,
novenas,
Wednesday nights.
Yeah, we're going to be talking
my
about
mom
that.
would go there too, I believe.
Yeah, my dad actually went over there too during
really?
the heyday. They used to, when I was talking to him, 15,000 people there on Wednesdays, and they couldn't fit them all. It's amazing.
Well, we have to remind you that we have our prayer box here too, and we continue to get it. It's funny, right before the program, I was talking to, I think it was Tim, I said, Tim, look at all these prayers that we got today, and then I just put them all in. And we get so many. I want to thank all of you who are praying for that 3-year-old boy who I had talked about earlier, especially to all my friends on Facebook. I've gone to 100. I didn't think I'd get 2,
yeah, I always
and
get
I'm over 100.
There, right? Wow.
Yeah, so that Facebook page is, but it's nice. You know what's really nice about it is I give little hints of what's going to be coming up. Like I told people, yeah, we're going to have something on World Youth Day today.
Wow.
So yeah, I give people behind the scenes before it even happens.
How did they get to that, Jay? How did they get to
just J. Fadden Catholic TV? That's it, J. Fadden Catholic TV. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, and remember to, in your prayers, to remember all those young adults who are over at World Youth Day who will go from there and evangelize throughout the world. So important to bring that word to so many different people. Once again, Father Reed, not here today, but he will be here Tuesday, and I'm sure he'll tell us all the more about World Youth Day, and you'll be able to see him later on today on World Youth Day. Hey, thanks for being with us, and know that all of you, every single one of you, are in our thoughts and in our prayers. Have a great day.